The 15 best male footballers in the world 2022. Lionel Messi has been voted the best player in the world in 2022 by our 206-strong panel, with Kylian Mbappe finishing second. After a low-key 2021-22 season, his first at PSG, no one knew quite what to expect from Messi in this World Cup-interrupted campaign. However, he came back after the summer firing on all cylinders. There were goals or assists in all but 4 League One games he played before the World Cup, and in Qatar, of course, he led Argentina to glory for the first time since 1986. Messi played with abandon as Argentina bounced back from their opening defeat to Saudi Arabia to go all the way, Messi scoring 7 goals, including 2 in the final. He tops our list for a remarkable 6th time, with every single judge of the 206-strong panel having him on their voting slip, and with 156 of them putting him at number 1. Marcus Christensen. This was the year that confirmed that the age of Mbappe has already begun. No one in Europe's leading divisions came close to his 44 goals in 43 club games, before a hat-trick in the final helped the France forward top the World Cup scoring charts with 8. Although signs of growing self-importance are a concern, an increasingly ruthless and commanding Mbappe was routinely unplayable in 2022, regardless of the competition. Each year since his 2017 emergence has seen Mbappe's game authoritatively ease up a gear. Barely 24, the likely continuation of that upward curve is at once a thrilling and terrifying prospect. Adam White. K9 is Superman, Iker Casillas said. K9 is Wolverine. K9 is your best friend. K9 is your grandmother. K9 is the parachute instructor you throw yourself out of an aircraft with. K9 is your guardian angel. K9 is God. K9, in short, is our number 3, and he may consider that low, injury and absence from the World Cup denying him, and perhaps France, the chance to reach the very top. Top scorer in La Liga and the Champions League, scoring 3 against PSG, 3 against Manchester City and 4 against Chelsea, he was deservedly the runaway Ballon d'Or winner. Sid Lowe. New league, same old Holland. Any fears that a move to the Premier League from the Bundesliga would slow down the goal-scoring prowess of the 22-year-old Norwegian vanished within a few weeks of the 2022-23 season. At the time of writing, he has 25 goals in 19 English top-flight games and a further 5 in 4 Champions League fixtures. Norway not qualifying for the World Cup gave him a rest, but one wonders how high he would have finished on this list with a good showing in Qatar. Holland moves into our top 5 for the first time, but did finish more than 600 points behind Karim Benzema in third. Marcus Christensen. We all know how many lovely words have been written about Luka and what he has done, not just for Croatia but the whole world. Age comes to everyone, but he is immortal, Andrej Kramaric said before Croatia's last game at the World Cup, but not, fortunately, Modric's last game for his country. Few could have blamed him for bowing out with a 3rd place in Qatar to go with his runners-up medal from Russia, aged 37 and on 162 caps, having just won a 5th Champions League, but Modric goes on. And that is a joy. Sid Lowe. If there is a moment that sums up De Bruyne's 2022, it has to be the driving run and low cross that led to Ilkay Gundogan's title-winning goal for Manchester City on the final day of last season. Once again City's creator supreme came to the fore when they needed him most. De Bruyne assisted 8 goals for Pep Guardiola's team as they went about securing a 4th championship in 5 years, and already had a further 10 this campaign prior to the World Cup. At the tournament itself, the 31-year-old was an ineffective presence for a poor Belgium side, but, overall, remains a supreme midfield talent. This is the 5th time he is in our top 10, a testament to his consistency. Sachin Nakrani. Everyone expected Lewandowski to be good as he joined Barcelona after 8 prolific years at Bayern Munich, but he has been even better than anticipated. He has continued to score bucket loads of goals, 22 in 23 appearances in all competitions, and got Barca wins they arguably did not deserve, October's 1-0 victory at Mallorca being a case in point. He also fulfilled a lifelong ambition by scoring at a World Cup for the first time. The joy on his face against Saudi Arabia said it all, showing that his love for goals has not diminished with age. Having been crowned the best player in the world by The Guardian 2 years in a row, he drops to 7th this time around. Marcus Christensen. Spain's best Vini since Samways. Asked not long ago why he was calmer in front of goal, the days when one-on-ones were no guarantee long gone, Vinicius replied, "I was younger then." It was a simple reply but maybe necessary, a reminder of how early footballers are exposed. One thing certain, no one doubts Vinicius anymore. Electric, willing to take on anyone, the focus of so much of Real Madrid's attacking, his fourth season at the Bernabeu ended with 22 goals, 20 assists, more dribbles than anyone and the winning goal in the Champions League final, all before his 22nd birthday. A new entry to the top 10, he looks set to stay here for some time. Sid Lowe. I don't know what we're supposed to do to beat Courtois. Pray maybe, Rayo Vallecano's Ivan Baulu said. There was a bit of a fuss not long ago when one magazine left Courtois out of its list of the world's 10 best goalkeepers. The only reasonable explanation was this was an except Courtois list, so manifestly superior was he to everyone else. Reached an absurd level in 2022, shown in the European Cup final and so many other nights. Made 59 Champions League saves, almost 4 times as many as Alisson. Up 44 places, genuinely could be up 50 plus. Sid Lowe. It says everything about the Liverpool forward's remarkable output over many seasons that 2022 was not considered a vintage year for a player occupying his lowest position in our poll since 2017. Salah scored 31 goals for Liverpool in 2021-22 and 25 in a calendar year that saw Jurgen Klopp's side reach the Champions League final for the third time in 5 seasons. There were considerable disappointments along the way, including losing both the Africa Cup of Nations final and World Cup playoff on penalties to Senegal with Egypt. That burden took its toll, but Salah's status at the top of the game was reflected in Liverpool's award of a new £350,000 a week, 3-year contract, the most lucrative in the club's history. Andy Hunter. One of the most reliable forwards in world football, wears more than just the one crown in this year's list. He is the highest-placed Bundesliga player and the second highest African player. Yet the extent of Main's worth is really underlined by the void he has left in his absences, from Liverpool, where his reliability and integral role in the collective press has been missed by Jurgen Klopp's team since he left for Germany, and from Senegal, where his injury just before the World Cup left the African champions, and the football world, cursing the loss of a bona fide star. Andy Brazil. I am psychologically destroyed, read the Brazilian's post-World Cup message after the Seleção had lost to Croatia. Despite disappointment in Doha, though, Neymar has managed to dispel doubts over his mindset by turning in his best calendar year since joining PSG. He overcame an ankle injury and the ire of fans to bounce back, then take that form into the new campaign. His 16 goals and 15 assists so far have seen him shine in Christophe Galtier's new-look side. His injury issues flared up yet again in a truncated and ultimately fruitless World Cup campaign, although he did draw level with the late Pelé to become Brazil's joint all-time top scorer with his 77th goal in that quarter-final against Croatia. Rafael Jukabin. The England captain, and ever-present on the list since making his debut in 2015, moves up 2 places this year, but a big part of his 2022 will be that penalty miss against France at the World Cup. I'll probably remember it for the rest of my life, but that's part of the game, he said after the 4-0 win against Crystal Palace in early January, in which he scored twice in typically ruthless fashion. It's not going to affect me as a player or as a person. I'll keep working hard to improve. He continued to do what he does best, which is to score goals, in 2022, being on target 26 times in 37 Premier League appearances. Marcus Christensen. The second highest Englishman on the list soars up 58 places, and that feels like a fair barometer of just how Bellingham's influence has grown. The teenager has been Borussia Dortmund's best midfielder for a while but has found an extra gear since the summer arrival of Salih Özcan, encouraged to burst forward more and scoring in each of his club's first 4 Champions League games. A natural leader and responsibility taker, Bellingham also had an outstanding World Cup, opening England scoring for the tournament against Iran and adding a different dimension to the midfield of Gareth Southgate's side. Andy Brazil. The Brazil midfielder is in his highest ever position on the list, jumping up 53 places after helping secure his 3rd La Liga title and 5th Champions League triumph before deciding he wanted a fresh challenge at Manchester United. The Premier League side were willing to part with £70 million to bring in the 30-year-old, and the outlay has started to pay dividends. Casemiro's experience in front of the defence has transformed the side under Erik ten Hag's tutelage. He may have hoped to add a World Cup winner's medal to his haul, but Brazil were knocked out at the quarter-final stage. Will Onwin.